We're kicking off a new year and a brand new series here at Meteomatics. We're calling it Meteo Insights. And the reason is because we want to help you understand what you can do with weather data and how you can transform your projects, your operations, and, just about anything else. We wanted to start with a pretty big topic in the political landscape, and that is going to be the Iowa caucuses. And really, to understand what's happening, I want to bring in my colleagues, our North American CEO, Paul Walsh, and our Director of Solutions Engineering, this is George Randolph. Fellas, great to have you here. I'm glad that we're able to kind of tackle this topic. It's wildly important right now. Paul, I think this is really sort of the setup for you, because you can talk about historically, what do we know about unfavorable weather and voter turnout?
Weather is basically the biggest driver of, or non-driver of turnout. And of course, at a caucus, it's all about turnout, which is why there's been so many candidates going all over Iowa, all with the goal of motivating people to come out and vote. And the problem is, of course, and the challenge is that we're looking at historically cold temperatures, which is going to have an impact on people. Generally, what happens is the people that are the most motivated to vote will brave the weather conditions and come in, but the people that are sort of on the edges that may not be as enthused about voting, and that could be a function of demographics, how much money they make, where they live in the city, do they have transportation? All of that tends to have a negative impact on that. So therefore, the weather for this caucus day is going to be the likes of which we probably have never seen before. And we certainly, from looking at our own data from our platform that George will take you through, we know that we're looking at least from a temperature perspective, conditions that we haven't seen in almost 50 years.
You don't always want to stand outside in a very, very long line when it's freezing cold outside.
There's plenty of academic research actually to speak to it. And I think with the caucuses, there may not be long lines, but you have to get to the caucus. So you have to drive, and then you have to basically brave the conditions to get in. So it's really going to be the most motivated voters that are going to be going out there. And around the edges, the people that are not as motivated may just decide to stay home and sit in front of the fire and watch it on TV. And so that's why the weather this go round, well, I guess most election days, the weather is a big player, a wild card, if you will. But we know, of course, because we can now forecast what's going to happen. And we also know that folks that are interested in understanding what the impact could be, that's very possible now, and it's pretty straightforward to do. In fact, it's pretty straightforward to do using our media cache technology and our API. And I think George will take us through and show us how that works and how you can use data like this to be able to make a prediction of the expectation of, in this case, how many people are going to show up to caucus on Monday.
I'm really curious to know if our colleague George has got a nice crackling fire as he's going to show us this demonstration, because that sounds lovely.
I think he does, because he's got the nice warm fuzzy hat on.
Yeah,
that's right.
And he was up on the space shuttle.
Yeah, it'll be quite cold. I mean, if I was in Iowa, I definitely would be sitting by the fire. But thanks, Jim. So I wanted to walk you guys through this real quick. Utilizing Meteomatics as Meteocache technology, we're able to pull in the temperature forecast, say at noon on January 15th, caucus day, very quickly. So if I just refresh this page really quick, we can overlay the forecasted temperature for the entire state. So what we can do here is provide those 4 ingredients for our API, just the date that we want, the parameter that we want, in this case, temperature, the location. We can just literally type in Iowa. The Meteocache technology is smart enough to know where that is and just provide and pull the temperature data just within the state. And then we can pull this forecast data for not only this caucus, but then we can also compare, like Paul was saying, the historical temperatures for the previous caucuses to see what that correlation is. And again, thanks to the streamlined API and the Meteocache technology, we're able to pull this data in just one go and do this analysis very quickly.
What we know from talking to our customers, a very major benefit of this is that, first of all of the weather data that's needed is curated in the single platform. And then using the Meteocache technology, it makes it very, very straightforward and easy to pull down a data set that can be as specific as, tell me what the morning low temperatures were for every caucus going back to 1976. and you get that data in a split second. In this case, we actually then went and we did some searching to find the actual turnout numbers, and we're able to just quickly overlay the two. I think we looked at minimum temperature, precipitation, wind chill, feels like temperature, and just did a quick correlation to show that the biggest negative impact on turnout was actually the way the data showed up was that morning low temperature. Again, aggregated across Iowa, so you can get the sense for the overall state. 15% of the turnout can be explained by weather. In this case, it would be a negative impact. And so when you think about all of the weather data that's out there in the world, the fact that all of this data is sitting in a single platform, whether it's historical weather data or it's climate data, and you want to look at what the weather's going to be like, all of that data is available and easy to access.
Well, this is the kind of stuff we're doing, and we do it pretty easy. We've got some pretty powerful tools. I'm glad you guys were here to kind of break this down for us. We know that this is not, it's only January. We got lots to talk about. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.